I'm Roxy with Roxie's Broadway Breakdown. Welcome back to my channel where it's always about musical theater. So if you like that, don't forget to click and subscribe. And today I want to talk about The Great Gatsby on tour. Yeah, I know this show's been out a couple of years, but I finally got to see it and I'm excited about it. I thought it was spectacular. I loved it. It was very reminiscent of the golden age musicals. It was very splashy and glitzy and glamorous, and I loved it. I loved the score and the lyrics. I thought the cast was super talented, just like out of this world talented. Jake David Smith, who played Gatsby, I thought rivaled Jeremy Jordan. Jeremy Jordan created this role, and he just had a beautiful tenor voice. I mean, it just filled the auditorium. It was one of the best tenors I've heard in a long time. And that's really saying something. But I don't know. There was just something so clear about his voice. And it was booming. And it was just, I can't say enough about him. The guy was really talented. But so was all the cast. I mean, it was just a really, really talented cast. The ensemble and... I'm really familiar with this novel. It's one of my favorite novels of all time, so I was really familiar with the storyline. So I'm sorry if you're not, and I'm naming some characters that maybe you're not familiar with, but Nick and Jordan and Myrtle, all of them had just top of the line voices. Myrtle especially, I love. She had like this razor's edge voice that was just booming and belted and just hit the back of the house. I just, loved her voice. As far as Daisy, the female lead, Ava Noblezada, I think I'm pronouncing her name right. I hope I am. They created the role on Broadway. I love her voice. The girl here, another hard name, Senzo Ameda. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. The role is written for a true mezzo. That very nice mix. Big belting role. All these roles, I found that interesting that every role is written for a really big voice. Every female, every male, it's just like a huge score. I think another reason I love the music so much. I just like big, true Broadway voices. But this girl had a beautiful, like deep range, like deep husky range. And so in her upper register, just not as like floaty and lyrical. I mean, she sounded okay, but I could tell she was just much more comfortable in her deeper range. But nonetheless, the character of Daisy, I felt they strayed a little bit from the novel. They made her a little bit bold and less like demure and fragile, I would say, than the book. But there's always going to be changes, and from when you adapt something to screen or stage. For the most part, they stuck to the book. They stayed very true to the book and the plot, and I really appreciated that. But the sets were great. The costumes were wonderful. It was the only Tony that it did win for Best Costume Design, which really shocked me after seeing this show. Because the 23-24 season, it was snubbed for even a nomination for Best Musical. That year, it was like Hell's Kitchen, The Outsiders, which did win for Best Musical, which I'm not saying they should, because I'd love to see that musical. That musical looks great. But Water for Elephants, Suffs, and Illinois. Now, Illinois, which is like a jukebox musical based on a concept album. Justin Peck won that year for Best Choreography. Totally right. Agreed with that decision. It was more of a dance musical. But Suffs won for score and lyrics. But I think that was more of a political decision because it was like all based on women's right to vote. And, it was, great plot, great subject matter. I'm not saying not. It wasn't. But Water for Elephants, like based on the movie Water for Elephants, like it got really bad reviews. And it was just, like it closed within weeks. And after seeing Great Gatsby, I was like, really? Like they snubbed Gatsby for that? So I didn't understand. I was really confused about that. They didn't ask me. But that happens. Like Wicked didn't win for Best Musical. I mean, it was nominated, but didn't win for Best Musical. Addams Family was snubbed for like nominations, and to this date, Addams Family is probably the most produced High School Musical ever. Like, it's really popular with audiences, so you never know. But I would just say this was wildly entertaining. So if it comes to a theater near you, go see it. I mean, for what my opinion is worth, I really loved it. The other thing I thought was interesting, this little talk back they had after the show. They sold it as you could meet and greet with the cast after the show. They had like a question and answer session, and they were going to talk about auditions, life in theater, life on the road, The Great Gatsby, characterizations, just all kinds of stuff that you could talk to the cast about. Which, if you are in musical theater and you're a working actor, or, you know, just have a general interest in that kind of thing, and that would be a great opportunity to talk to professional actors and just ask them all kind of questions. I've never seen this in a touring company, okay? I've been to a lot of different shows, a lot of professional shows, and I just thought, wow, what an opportunity for, you know, somebody who's in theater and really interested and gets to talk to the cast. So, you know, take advantage of that. If you go see the show and have questions prepared and you want to stay afterwards and do that, that's great. I was with family that they love the show, but they were like, yeah, we're not sticking around for that. It's late. So I got to miss it. I had to miss it. But otherwise, I would have loved to have stayed and talked to the cast. But anyway, I digress. The other thing I kind of find interesting was that there were, I wouldn't say a lot, but there were enough of ladies that came dressed in like full-fledged flapper outfits, like sequins and beads and headdresses, and, you know, with the headbands and the feathers and the whatnot. And I was like, oh, they're really looking for the immersive experience of The Great Gatsby, which I thought was fun. I mean, if you're theatrical and, you know, you want to come dressed up in your best flapper outfit, part of me was like, did they just have that in their closet? You know, like the beaded gowns and the gloves and the pearls and the, but, you know, hey, so if you want to go in your full flapper costume and, you know, join the Great Gatsby cast and just, you know, walk in and be like, I'm here ready to join the jazz party, you go ahead. Anyway, I did, in all seriousness, I did love the show. It was full of talent. So go see it, have fun, and there you go. There's my 2 cents. So don't forget to click and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next.